Hi everybody, it's Mike Newman. It's Monday morning finish line. It's election day. It's Tuesday, November 6th. Sorry that this is a day late, but my voice on Sunday and yesterday checked out for a little while. It happens. Every state meet. This year was a little bit longer, but we'll get to that at the end. What a weekend. What a weekend. And the one thing that I noticed when I got down to Detweiler on Friday morning about 10:30, 11 o'clock, when there was nobody there, and it was the coolest thing. I had lunch on the infield, and but you could look at the trees, and you could see the trees in some of those wonderful photos that Laura Duffy took that are on the IHSA State Cross Country State page on Runner Space. Those pictures are beautiful, weren't they? I mean, the colors and the trees are so great. There was one time when Peter Coe, Sebastian Coe's dad, went down with the York team. I was fortunate to be in that group, and I'm standing with Peter and Mr. Coe and Mr. Newton, and he's like, Joe, how you looking at the trees here? Look at this beauty around us. Are you recognizing that? So I recognized that. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Friday. I enjoyed Saturday. What 6 great races, and so I usually like to keep the show around 30 minutes. I'm going to try, but there are so many things to talk about, obviously. So let's get going with that. So one thing that I will do for you is, where you see the notes describing what's going on, what I'm going to talk about on the video, I'll give you a time frame when I talk about the certain race. Okay. So, and I did notes, so I hope I don't forget about a lot of things here. So we're going to start chronologically. We'll start at 9 a.m. 1A girls race, and there was a little bit of dew on the ground. It was a little bit slippery. They had a little bit of rain overnight, so the course was the 1A girls race was an indication of what kind of races or how fast of races we were going to see on Championship Saturday. The girls race was fascinating. They went through the mile in about 5:37, 5:38. Emma Argo up there with Lydia Roller and Carly Hay. And then Argo just started to stretch it out. Talking to Lydia after the race, she's like, I wanted to make a move at 2 miles, but Emma was just too strong. And she was. I mean, she ran 16:59.7. And as we go along, this was the first time since the girls moved to 2 miles. Is it? It may be the first time that we had all 3 runners under 17 minutes. I keep forgetting about Anna Sophia Keller a number of years ago in the 1A races, making that race her own. But Argo, back-to-back champions. What a great race she ran at 16:59.7. Lydia Roller at 17:18. Amelia McLean, 17:26. And then Katelynne Robbins, 17:29. Katelynne Robbins, well, what a story she has. A testimony of having faith in what you're doing and everything else. The senior from Liberty. At the end of track season in the 2 miles, she had a bad race at state. She collapsed afterwards. She needed medical attention. She went through this. She's gone through so many injuries and illnesses. And she went through injuries at the beginning of this year, too. She didn't know if she was going to be at state. And she gets 4th at 17:29. Oh, wow. Well, I'm speechless. I'm in awe of what she did. And she moved up, too. She was about 10th or 11th at 2 miles. She moved up to 4th. So, and then Hay was at 17:29. Maya Stovall, 17:29. 7 out of the top 10 runners returned. There were a lot of freshmen in there. Manchester from IC Catholic Prep and Wolke from Christian Liberty Academy. They're going to be two strong runners in the next few years. only 7 seniors in the top 25 too. So we have a lot of youth in that group. There was 22 returned, 22 runners from the top 25 returned a year after the end of last year's meet. This year it's 18, but we're going to see some great freshmen coming in next year, I bet. In the top 3, Eureka. And I said in the previews that Eureka's coming on strong. They may get Tolono Unity. Or I think, they were neck and neck. It was close. I mean, it was close. Eureka had 84 points. Alexei Fogo was 14th. They had 3 All-State runners. Wiegand was 24th too. But when you have 3 runners in the top 24 like that, they had a nice pack 4 in the first 31, I think. So 84 points for them. Rock Falls, after getting 7th last year, after everything in the entire world falling on them at last year's state race, hey, they get 2nd with 123. Bailey Fortney, wow, Bailey Fortney, what a job. Last year, you're in the hospital for 2 days after this race with severe dehydration. You get 12th, and you lead your team to 2nd place, and she's a junior. She'll be back next year. And then Tolono Unity, champions. The way that they handled themselves after the race and what they had been through, loss of a teammate, and 130 points for 3rd place. Fantastic job. Fantastic job by them. So, let's go on to 1A boys. Boys classifications, 3A races, the 3 races, at the beginning of the year, I thought, a little bit down. And the boys this year, this was the year of the girls' races at state, because there were 3 great races. The boys' races were pretty good. The team races in the 1A and 2A were close. 1A, here again, in the previews, we had Clifton Central as a team to beat. They had beaten Monticello twice, who was ranked number 2 coming in to state. But then here comes Elmwood, who was running tremendously. And it was close throughout. Clifton Central and Elmwood were only separated by 3 or 4 points throughout the race. That's how close it was. And Elmwood, at the beginning of the year, they were supposed to rebuild this year. And they reloaded. And Clifton Central started out the season ranked, what was it, 9th? That win in opening week against Monticello sold me. I put them at number 1. But they looked good throughout. They had 2 All-Staters, Isaiah Ditta and Jeremy Schnedberg. 2 All-State runners. Elmwood didn't have any All-State runners. But man, their pack, I think, was a 30-second split on 5 runners. And so it was 139-143. 4 points separates these 2 great teams in 1A. And Monticello was 3rd with 189 points. You had Dixon, Garrett Dixon up there with a 2nd place finish. You had their pack. Wow. How would you like to have that pack? 2, 3, 4 runners, all at 15:59 together. Ran together the entire race. Maybe they were a little bit too far back, and because they were 45, 46 points behind Elmwood and Clifton Central. So they brought home a trophy. But they had a nice pack. I think it was like a 15-second split from 2 to 5, but that pack was a little bit back. Stanford Olympia had a great pack. You could see it in their checkerboard jerseys throughout the race. They were 4th at 2:19. Robinson ends up a great season and finishing 5th at 2:26. And the individual race was fascinating to watch. Here at 2 miles. Now, I was lucky to go to Amboy. Why do I go to these meets? Why do you go to Amboy? Because it's one of the best 1A races of the year outside of state. And the hospitality there and the course and the atmosphere are great at Amboy. So you had, in that race, Dixon pulled away from Colette after Colette got nipped, was leading, legs got nipped and fell and got back up. And then a little bit after that, Dixon made his move. Dixon made a move again at 2 miles, and Colette kept going through his head. He said afterwards, I'm not going to let him go. I'm not going to let him go. He stayed there, made a move at the 1/4 mile to go, and won by 11 seconds, 14:45, 14:56. I know his dad, John, who ran at North Central. He's part of that North Central community, and Christopher was happy afterwards, raised his arms, so happy for him. So 14:45, Dixon at 14:56, Negus Bogard of Robinson at 15:06, Jackson Stewart. They're announcing Jackson throughout the race. Come on, Matt Piesinski. Get your notes together on this. I mean, it's Jackson Stewart, who's been around for 4 years, from St. Teresa, 15:07. Dawson Smith, 5th at 15:10. Spencer Malk of Starley Newman was up there throughout the race at 15:10. And then the Frosh, Miles Shepard. In the preview, I said, keep an eye on Miles Shepard. He's going to surprise some people. He had 7th at 15:11 and had that look of a young John Davis. And John Davis is still in college. But, I mean, here's the next John Davis. I think Miles Shepard will do some great things over the next 3 years. We hope so. Hope he doesn't get injured. Has a clean path. But he's going to be something special to watch in 1A in the next few years. From Hamilton, Warsaw, 15:11. Really watch out for him. 12 seniors in the top 25 in that race. And there we have it on there. So, the 2A girls race, I was really looking forward to this. And one of the reasons why was the finish. Watch the end of this race.
That Stromslin made her move on Sarts, and this time it's crazy. We're at 16:10 right now. Where are we at? Oh, there we are. And it's not, Sarts hasn't given up yet. Oh my gosh, what a great time by Stromslin. At 29, 30, 31, it's Brooke Stromslin. Sarts at 35, crazy.
What a great finish. So Brooke Stromslin, who finished 2 seconds behind Aspen Gordon. Aspen Gordon didn't have a great race, you know. Felt bad for her. She got 17th. She was all-state, but that's not what you wanted, so it happens sometimes. There's nothing you can do about that. But Brooke Stromslin at 16:32 and Leanna Sertz at 16:35, only 3 seconds. It was great. Sertz was pushing that pace at a mile. They went through in 5:22, and at 2 miles it was around 11 minutes, 11:01, 11:02, something like that. And Leanna Sertz continued to push the pace, and Brooke Stromslin continued to hold on and hold on. And when they made that little S turn around with 300 meters to go, Sertz kind of, and I think this may have been the race. Stromslin had run that race before. She stayed behind the lead truck and made the turn and just hit the center of the infield, kind of veering towards the finish line. And Sertz stayed along the fans. And I think Stromslin made a little bit of her move. Won by a little bit, around 3 seconds. But what a great finish. Brooke Stromslin from Lakes Community is only a sophomore. And Leanna Sertz of Rosary is only a freshman. 2 more years of great races like that. How about that? Oh, let's move Rosary up to 3. I want to see Sertz run against Hart and Schlenker. I had a brain fart there. We'll talk about Katrina Schlenker in a little bit. Maybe Lakes moves up to 3A next year. I don't know. But so 16:32, 16:35. Marianne Mijas made a beautiful move in the last mile. She was about 5th, 6th throughout the first 2 miles. She catches her teammate Ava Perek. Mijas at 17:04 third. Perek, a freshman, 17:08 4. So you had the top 4 runners, either freshmen or sophomores in that race. Jenna Schwartz, she ran such a smart race. I'm telling you, she was about 10th, 11th at the mile, about 5th, 6th at 2 mile, was moving towards the end, and she gets 5th. And what a great career she's had. She's going to Mizzou, and she's going to run great there. But the first senior in the group, but she ran fantastic. Great job by Jenna Schwartz. And then the Belvedere North Pack came in. Gianna Sagona, 17:19, and Madison Dirks, 17:30, 6 and 7. Led Belvedere North to their 2nd state title in 3 years. An impressive performance, 113 points. I'm looking at my time thing. Ooh, only 15 minutes, and that's not bad. 3 all-state runners with Sagona, Dirks, and then Sidney Elder, I think, was 21st. Vernon Hills, second. Hey, they've been in third. They've finished third the last 3 years. Well, guess what? They moved up to second. They were happy as can be. They didn't have They did not have any all-state runners. But wow, what a pack! And led by freshman Emma Wakefield. The second one, 148. And hey, let's talk about Prairie Ridge. When they finished, I think they finished 12th or 13th at Palatine. And I had a few emails going, why are you moving Prairie Ridge up to number 3, number 4? Why are you moving into the top 5? I don't understand that move. They got 12th at Palatine. That's why I'm here and you're there. And I could see that. They had a nice little pack. They had a nice threesome with Gail and Peroni and Carson Forte, who transferred from Harvest Christian to Prairie Ridge. They finished third with 219 points. First trophy for the team, for the program, and ahead of Normal University by 2 points. Ooh, so close for a trophy there. Washington 5th at 236. Latin School with that 3-4 finish by Mijas and Perec. They return everybody next year. They're going to be tough, 237. Hey, and what about Burlington Central? 7th at 247. They had a great year, winning their sectional the way that they did, and then coming back to state. Great job by the Rockets at 247. That sectional, we talked about that sectional at Woodstock North. We said it was so tough. 4 of the top 8 teams were from that sectional. Grace Lake North finished 8th there. So you had, you want to know how tough 2A girls is going to be next year? You have only 4 seniors in the top 25. Hello. Fantastic. We get to the boys race. And you had the 2A boys race. There were those questions that went through your head after Springfield finished second at Central State 8 behind Normal University in 3A, but ahead of the top-ranked team, Chatham-Glenwood. Chatham-Glenwood didn't have Graham Turk in the lineup in that race. The following week, they brought Chatham-Glenwood brought Turk back, and Springfield won by 4 in the regional. At sectionals, it was a bigger gap, but less runners and less quality runners. And we saw that in the race, in the state race, where it was close. Glenwood had the advantage, but Springfield made a charge in the last mile. And Chatham-Glenwood wins their first state title, 153 points. Springfield, 161, a 1-2 finish for the Central State 8 teams. Happy for Springfield. I mean, I've had a dialogue throughout the year, you know, go back and forth with Chatham-Glenwood coach Mike Garber, and I've had a little bit of thing in my heart for Glenwood because one of my former teammates at North Central, Jay Rogers, used to coach there, and I've known Mike for a while, and happy for their team, really happy for Mike that he gets to experience this. It's a cool thing winning a state championship as a coach or as an athlete, and he's discovering that now. So 153, 161 for Springfield. We said throughout the year how close the top 7, top 8 in 2A are. I mean, it was evenly matched, and we saw that in this race. Bloomington third with 167 points, only 6 points away from Springfield. And then Katelynne, Katelynne misses by 1 point. They have an all-state runner, Daniel Acapinti. They have 5 runners coming back next year, and the Knights are going to be tough. They may be one of the, hand to God, I have not looked at next year yet. I will next week, but Katelynne has 5 runners coming back. They're going to be tough. And then you had Dixon at 176. They lose Colin Grady, but they have a bunch of runners coming back. Sycamore, nice pack. They moved beautifully next to 202. And then Bennett Academy had a fantastic year at 215. So those were your top 7 teams. Matthias Powell, Adon Hernandez of Solorio has run in state before, but he took the pace out hard. 213 for the first half, and Matthias Powell of Muhammad Seymour stayed back, he moved up at the mile, and he started to move at the mile, and nothing was going to stop him in that race. He wins in 14:31. I want to say the 10th or 11th fastest time of the day, including 3A and 1A. So Powell, going to Villanova, we did an interview with all the state winners, individual winners. Check that out on ilxctf.com. But I talked to Matthias on camera for 4 minutes. What a great kid. What a great program Muhammad Seymour has. They have a great coaching staff. But Powell going to Villanova, so cool that he's going there. And he'll do some great things there. And he'll do some great things in track, too. So Powell at 14:31. Nathan Schmidt of Lake Forest second at 14:47. And darn it, I really wanted to interview him. But Matthias was all the way back by the awards area. By the time I got back to the finish area, Nathan was gone. But Mary Beth Schatt, who, when she was running at York, was Mary Beth Driscoll, friend of mine. Mary Beth was like, do you know about Nathan? She was telling me the story how Nathan was like, oh, he's an underdog, all this stuff. He's not an underdog. He was running good all throughout the year. He gets second at 14:47. He's the #1 returnee next year. So if Lake Forest stays in... Lake Forest is one of those teams like Deerfield that hip-hops back and forth between 2A and 3A. So if Schatt moves up to 3A next year, he'll be among the top 10 runners in the state. I'm pretty in 3A. I'm sure of that. But if they stay in 2A, he's going to be one of the individual favorites. Anthony Farmer, Burlington Central, a junior, 14:53. Charlie Smith, Antioch, junior, 14:54. Nick Dowd, senior from Bloomington, 14:59. Only runners in 2A under 15 minutes in that race, which was kind of a surprise. Maybe not. I don't know. But you had 15 seniors in the top 25. So 2A again next year. I mean, there was a number of seniors last year that were in the top 25. So it's going to be interesting to see next year what happens in that classification. So 2A boys. Let's go to 3A girls. Wow. 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 I'll just say wow. You know what I mean. So Katelynne Hart runs 15:59.9. Misses Judy Pendergast's record by 15:53. I want you to watch the end of this race.
Katelynne Hart, 15:21, 15:22.
She's going to be close there, 15:25 right now.
Let's get her home. Let's get her home.
This is going to be close.
38, 39, 40, 41, 42,
48, she's not going to get it, but boy, what a great race. Under 58, 15:59. Look at Schlenker come in. It's 16:05, 16:06. Morris, it's 16:09.
So, it's one of those things that I'm watching. Maybe I'm used to, maybe I've been spoiled watching Katelynne all year, where runners, she just blows everybody away, wins by 39.40 seconds. This race was different, where there was only a 5-6 second difference throughout. And kudos to Katrina Schlenker of Batavia. And boy, what a great race by Alex Morris. Great race by all three of those runners. Great race by most of the 3A girls runners. But they were staying within 5 seconds. KK goes through in 5:10, 5:11. Morris Schlenker leading the pack at 5:15, 5:16. Came out of the pack, still a 5-second difference between Hart and those two. And it seemed like, watching from the finish line and watching them pass with a half mile to go, it seemed like, excuse me, that Schlenker and Morris were starting to close the gap a little bit. But KK Hart's a three-time state champion in cross country, 4-time state champion in track, national champion, All-American. And she put a move. She made a move. She said she saw the clock at 15:30 and she was thinking, I don't know if I'm going to make this. I don't know if I'm going to do this. If I'm going to get this record. But she was a second runner ever. Second Illinois ever to run under 16 minutes in a 3-mile race on any course. Second runner ever to run under 16 minutes at the state meet. Fastest junior of all time at the state meet. I don't know, I've run out of words to describe how good a runner KK Hart is. But here's the interview.
We forget that this is your 3rd state championship in a row. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You said to me last week that your goal was to go after Judy's record, and you did today. What went into the planning this week for that?
Yeah, you know, I really wanted to go out hard the first mile. I was thinking around 5:12. I think I was around 5:10, so I was trying to do it faster, but not a huge deal. And then my goal really was just to really work my arms in the second mile and try to hit it hard, just because, you know, it's in the triangle where it's a little bit quieter, not as many fans. So I had Mr. Haas, my coach, trying to yell at me to stay strong and through that point. And then I knew just trying to come up that hill and really attack the downhill in the 3rd mile, and then finish strong again up the hill. So
I know you were working on your form the past few weeks. You kept your form nicely that way. Could you sense that they were close?
Yeah, I could hear the crowd. I knew they were pretty close, and I was turning my shoulder a little bit around the corner. So I knew they were close. I mean, they both ran an amazing race.
How did it weigh into you that you're going after a course record? Did that pressure you a little bit more coming into this race? Or?
I mean, I feel like every state meet I feel like a little bit more pressure on myself. I try to stay relaxed. Actually, the state meet I probably was the most relaxed. Maybe just because I have a little bit more experience now. But I always get a little bit nervous. I mean, just about, I know there's going to be a good competition here, and yeah, I mean, the record was definitely in my mind. But I mean, I just had to focus on having a good race myself.
You're coming up to the finish line, and the clock is ticking, and I could see you were watching the clock.
Yeah.
What's going through your mind at that point?
I wasn't exactly sure, just because I could see 15:30 or something coming up the hill, and I was like, I don't know in relation to, you know, how much distance I have left, what this is going to look like. But I was just trying to give all I had up the hill in hopes that I could get the record.
Okay, so you have the second fastest time ever on this course. That's a lot to be said, and you're only a junior. Double again this year, NXN. Are you going to run NXR next week?
Yes.
And then Foot Locker, and then I'll see you in Portland, then San Diego, and all that. How does this feel? 3 state championships.
It's awesome. You know, I'm excited to see, you know, how my team does. So, and I know they all ran super strong, so I'm excited for that. But yeah, I mean, it feels good. I'm hopefully, you know, going to try to keep my time down there. So it'll be good.
Well, the way it looked today, we'll see you next week. But it's always an honor to talk to you. Great job today.
So, next year's state race, I'm already kind of like, I've already marked in my calendar. It's a week later. It's November 8th, I think, next year. And it's going to be Schlenker, and it's going to be Hart, and they're going to be so close. I can't wait till track to see what happens with those 2 runners in the mile. But Katelynne Schlenker runs the fastest freshman time ever at 16:07, gets 2nd place. Alex Morris, 16:10 for her. And it just goes down the list. Ali Nikovic of, and I'll get your name pronounced right eventually, Ali. But 16:33, I think she's the number 4 freshman of all time. Helena Klaronimos of Yorkville, 16:35. Vivian Van Ack, what a fantastic race. It just goes to show the Minooka runners. I think Emily Shelton last year ran 16:33. It's the Minooka runners' peak at Peoria. They have that program down packed, and trust your coaches, they peak when it's right. Samantha Poglish, one of the top sophomores ever now, top 10 at least. Sam runs a fantastic race, 16:39. Then 3, 4, 5, 6. I didn't number these. And then you have Brenna Cahoon. I can't wait to see what she writes in the blog for this week. And she's been writing a tremendous blog. Only a junior, but she writes someone years her age, describing how she's feeling during the race and all that. She ran a PR, fastest time ever for Downers Grove South at 16:40. Alice Abbott at 16:40. And Kaylee Fox, how about this? She's running last year in 1A Piatone. Nothing against Piatone. She runs 19:39, 19:40. State was back around 88th, something like that. She gets 10th in the 3A race. She runs 16:42. She adapted to the Yorkville program like that. There's only 6 seniors returning. Should be fun next year. And then the teams, holy smokes, I was looking forward to this race. And Naperville North had an advantage, but Yorkville made a charge at the end. And consider this, Yorkville had 4 runners in the top 30, with 3 All-Staters, 3 in the top 13, with Claire Onemos, Fox, Emily Eberhardt was 13th, and Haley Simmons was 30th. They get Olivia Baroyak, who was injured and missed a few weeks. They get her healthy, and she was around, I want to say 51. Is her 5th runner or 43rd or something? Something like that. If she moves up closer to her teammates, Sarah Clem moves up closer. Wow, the national meet, a 1-2 finish by Illinois teams? Possibly. But it was 80 for Naperville North, 87 for Yorkville. Downers Grove North gets her first trophy at 127. To describe how strong these teams are, Naperville North, 7 runners. 7 runners in the top 38. Are you freaking kidding me? But that's how they've been running this year. 3 All-State runners. Maggie Gamboa was 20th, 21st. Campbell Peterson, 25th. She's All-State for the 2nd year in a row. And we talked about Yorkville with 4 in the top 30. The team times. They ran the top 2 team times ever since the IHSA moved it to 3 miles. 84:50.6 for Naperville North. 85 minutes, even, 0.2 for Yorkville. And the previous best time coming into this meet was last year by Naperville North, and they ran 85:52. Almost more than a minute ahead. And Naperville North got 2nd nationals last year. So, you know, some of you are watching outside of the state going, oh, there's Newman with that Illinois bias again. BS. These teams are good. And we may find out how good they are if they just run their normal races at NXN. Both teams have been there. We'll see. Downers Grove South, fantastic race for them, 127. Cahoon leading them. Nice pack after that, led by Melissa Widener. Downers Grove South gets a trophy. And with all the implications that are going on at NXR this weekend, I would say Naperville North and Yorkville are locks to make it. Downers Grove South at large should go. But we're going to talk about that. I want to talk a little bit about that at the end. So deep breath. So while I take a deep breath, watch the finish of the 3A boys race.
39, 40, 41, 42, 14, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51. There's a virtual record. It stays intact 1 more year. Josh Victor,
Josh Methner, your state champion. 14:11. Brady at 14:17.
So the one thing about Methner, watching him run at Richard Spring, where he won that, and at Palatine, where he won that, is he decided that race. That was his race from the start. When he wanted to win that race, he made his move, and he made a strategical move at the right time. Palatine, he waited till 1K to go because the weather was, or at Richard Spring, and he moved away from Kearney. At Palatine, he went right after the mile and just stretched the pack out, ran a course record. And on Saturday, he started to slowly, methodically move away from Tommy Brady, 14:11 for Josh Methner. He's a junior, and he's going to do some great things. His team may do some great things too at NXN if they make it, and they should if they get second or third. If they get third, no reason why not. We see an at-large team coming from there because Midwest has been so strong this year on the boys' side. Tommy Brady, 14:17. Boy, you ran a PR. He got second, nothing to be ashamed about, but what a fantastic race from a great kid. Great job by Tommy. Then we have Sam Rivera, another Whitney Young runner in the top 5, 14:24. Jack Roberts of Downers Grove North misses half the season due to a hamstring injury, 14:29 for 4th. Aren't you glad, Jack, that you tied your shoe when you did in July? I'm not going to say anything else. Roy Cavan, and then they came in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 runners within 3 seconds. Roy Cavan next at 14:29. Stephen Moody 14:30. Charlie Wetzel, Normal West was running in 2A last year. Normal West moves up to 3A. He still gets 7th at 14:30. Then William Honstein 14:30. Ethan Kern of York 14:32. And Tyler Cushing 14:34. 13 seniors in the top 25. Opportunity next year for so many juniors, sophomores, and freshmen that ran in this year's meet, or maybe some that didn't run in the meet. Boys' side, we thought Wheaton Warrenville South was going to win. They did. I think it would have been stronger. Sean Mason, who usually runs with Jacob Cluckhone and his brother Scott, has had a little bit of an injury issue, and it showed a little bit because he was back farther. They had a nice pack of 3, another nice pack of 3. They stayed together throughout, and that's why Wheaton Warrenville South was winning all this year and winning the state title with 116 points. 3 runners in the top 15 with Honstein, Cluckhone, Scott Mason, Cluckhone 15th, Mason 13th. So 3 all-state runners, you can't beat that. Hersey with 2 all-state runners ran a fantastic race, and we said in the preview it was going to be close. Anybody's guess between the next 9 teams, and Hersey ran the best race out of those 9 teams. Gets second with 156. 2 all-staters with Josh Methner, and then Max Fenton ran a fantastic race. But Hersey ran a tremendous race throughout. Neuqua Valley third. Now everybody downplaying them. They're not going to do that. I'm thinking, what is this team going to do? But I keep thinking, I'm like, Vandersteen's coaching the team. He'll get them ready at the right time. And wow, he did. 159 points. 2 all-state runners who run the races of their lives. Michael Mattiel 19th, Chris Keeley 21st, both at 14:45. Wow. So Neuqua third. York. Show of hands. Anybody, and I better not see any hands showed, they thought that York would be in this position at the end of the year. I had them, and you know what I'm seeing some hands being raised by a group wearing a lot of green. The York runners believed in themselves. I had them 19th at the beginning of the year, but when you saw their sophomores run the first race at Joliet, I didn't drop them out of the top 25. And somebody dropped them out of the 25 that didn't believe, didn't have a clue, whatever. It's first Tuesday of the month. Wow, this is going on long. York believed. There's a phrase that is used in the York camp. We're like the bee. Scientists said that the bee could not fly because of its wingspan. And York believed. They have no seniors. in the top 15, top 16 runners, all juniors and sophomores and freshmen. They're going to be tough next year. Fourth with 185 points. They thought that they could have run better, but you know what? There's opportunities this weekend and then next year for that. Neuqua Valley, too. Wheat-Warrenville South returns 5. They lose the Mason brothers. Hersey returns a good group, I think 3 or 4 runners, plus they have a good pack behind them. Neuqua only returns 1. They ran 6 seniors in that race. But we've gone through this song and dance before with Neuqua Valley. They'll be back next year. St. Charles East was only 2 points behind York. Watch for a better race from them this weekend at Peoria, but Bobby Liking did not have the best race of the year. They still had 2 runners together at 14:59, Bennett Malone 24th and Aiden King 26th, so they had a nice pack up front. But they were 5th with 187 points. Glenbard West 6th with 217 points behind the 5-6 finish of Kavana Moody. Then O'Fallon. Hey! And I'm sure John Burnett, if I saw him after the race, would have come up to me and said, Mike, now you can rank us in the top 10. Because they ran a fantastic race. Best race of the year for them by far, and they get 7th. Downers Grove North was putting the team together all year. They get 8th with 306.15, never in the top 10 throughout the year. At the end of the year, I think I had them 8th or 9th. I was close. Barrington at 318 ran a great race. Oswego East, who returns 6 of their top 7, was 7th at 319. Wheaton-Warrenville South time 74:12. All-time best. No, 23rd best team time ever. I think, oh, that's 72:37. They weren't close to that. So, there we go. I do want to do one more thing. There was, I set 2 goals. I want to have great race videos, and I think I did a pretty good job this year. You can check out those videos, highlights of all 6 races, on ilxctf.com. I also make it a goal that I talk to each race winner. And the one other goal that I had is I wanted to talk to Jordan Harmon of Tolono Unity, who's come through so much, but I want you to watch this interview.
It's Mike Newman from Dice. I really wanted to talk to Jordan Harmon here at State. 29, you had a little bit of a virus, that's what your coach said?
Yeah, I haven't been feeling that great this past week, so.
How did you feel stepping back on this course again?
I just came into it remembering what I felt like last year. This is the first time I ran in 4 weeks, and just how grateful I was to be here and to have been running these past 6 weeks has just been I'm so grateful. My mindset has totally changed.
Did you have doubts during the spring where everything's going not the way you planned?
For sure.
What were you thinking at that point?
Yeah, I mean, I had some really rough spots. It was definitely really hard for me, and there were times where I wanted to quit, but I knew my team they got me through it. I don't know what I'd do without them, and I'm just so thankful, and God got me through it, and I'm so thankful.
If there's one thing, there are a bunch of athletes that are out there right now that aren't going to be able to run at State because of injuries and all that. What's the one thing of inspiration to tell them to keep their heads up?
Yeah, I mean, everyone told me when I was on the sidelines that, you'll get back to where you were, and that's so true. I mean, I'm still not where I want to be, but I know that, God will get you through it, and that sounds cheesy, but it's so true. And yeah, I'm incredibly thankful just to be running right now.
How close has this team become? I know everything that happened with Savannah and all of that. Mm-hmm. What did she mean? What did she mean to this team?
Savannah, I can't put words to describe about just who she was. If she was here right now, you could hear her. She'd be yelling at the top of her lungs with this raspy voice. And
you can still hear her. I'm sure you were going around the corner and you were hearing her.
For sure. Her mom came, and she has this whistle that we all listen to, and we heard her right before the start, and we heard her whistle, and we're like, it's Savannah's mom, and it's just amazing. And I know she'd be proud of us. So.
I know it's going to come. It's going to be close between you and Eureka. So hopefully you get a great outcome. But regardless, you're here. You ran with your teammates, and that's the main thing that you'll remember many years from now.
For sure, definitely.
Glad to see you back running.
Thank you so much.
And congratulations on a great season.
Thank you so much.
So Jordan had so many, you know, she ran with an injury last year. She didn't feel great at state, but she ran for her team, and Tolono wins the state championship. She was 29th on Saturday, but she came through so much. She didn't run track. She didn't think she was going to run again. And look what having a lot of faith in yourself, faith in God, faith in your coaches and your teammates pushing you through. And look what Jordan Harmon accomplished. She ran in another state meet. So Anne-Marie Jordan of Palatine, contact Jordan, or Jordan contact Anne-Marie Jordan. Anne-Marie Jordan ran with a hip injury at the sectional race at Hoffman Estates at Bussey Woods. She gets 7th with that injury, qualifies for state, but the injury knocked her out for the rest of the season. It's going to knock her out for most of track season. I think there's a lot of people in your camp that know that you'll come back, Anne-Marie. And there are other runners out there that have had the injuries and stuff like that. Listen to Jordan Harmon's story, and she has a lot of good words to say in that interview, and belief in her teammates, and just in so many other things. I know we have a great group of kids in Illinois, so many great runners that are going to do some great things beyond running once they get out of high school, once they get out of college. Jordan Harmon's going to do great things in her life. So a few things. A few things, and then we're going to talk about what's coming up this weekend. Thank you to Craig Garber and the IHSA officials. You make my life so much easier at state meet, where I'm able to put my ladder up at the finish line, get some great shots of everybody coming in and getting to spots where nobody else can go to, and tremendous. And to the people that said thank you and that thanked me for what I'm doing. There were a few years ago when there was a business decision where Dystat, Illinois ceased to exist, and I understood that and all of that, but I was told I could start my own site, and some people laughed and said, "There's no more Dystat, Illinois." No, I'm still here, and I'll still be here for a while, and I appreciate your support. It means a lot, and it's humbling, it's overwhelming. I'm just trying to talk about you guys and write about you guys and give this sport the coverage it deserves, and so I thank you for your kind words and the emails. I've gotten a few emails that have floored me over the past few days. So that's all we'll have to say on that. This weekend, a lot of things going on this weekend. D1 Regionals on Friday, one in Terre Haute for Great Lakes. Hey, one in Peoria, head to Peoria. Midwest, watch Illinois run, watch Bradley run, watch Illinois State run. A lot of good runners, former Illinois high school runners in there. Check it out. 11 o'clock for the girls race at Newman Golf Course, no relation. And then 12 o'clock for the men's race. It should be fun down there. I think I'm going to make the trip down to Peoria, take a day off and watch that. D3 Regionals, North Central, Stripes time, Eau Claire. D3 people, come on, put it at Augustana or put it closer. I'd make the 2-hour drive there, but it's about a 5-hour plus drive to Eau Claire and back, and I have to be at NXR on Sunday. So get to watch NCC run the following week at Oshkosh. Can't wait to see the Stripes in action. My former college in action, going after another national championship. Should be fun. And then Sunday. Everybody knows by this point on Thursday, last Thursday, because of conditions at the course at Hebron Raceways in Ohio, the Ohio High School Sports Federation Athletic Association canceled the Ohio State meet and moved it to this Saturday, day before NXR Midwest. And it's so impossible. You know, the first thing, why doesn't NXR move that back 1 week to accommodate? Well, they won't do that. You have so many reservations booked with these, you know, it's packed in the Terre Haute area with hotels and all that. Everything's booked. So you can't do that. Or running 2 races in 24 hours, that's going to be tough to do. And plus the fact, I'm hearing more and more teams are starting to, Ohio teams may not run both. You're running a state race, you're getting the awards close to 6 o'clock, finishing up the awards things by the time you get out of that park, and then driving 400 miles to Terre Haute. It's hard to imagine that. So it opens the door for a lot of Illinois teams, a lot of Illinois runners. You have Indiana there, you have Missouri. Michigan is part of this region group, but their state federation laws are so archaic, that they won't allow teams to go down there. There's some good Michigan teams that'll come down there. I wish some teams would come down there and run and fight, you know, to change the rules in Michigan. I don't know if that'll happen because of whatever is going on in that state. It's like Cuba. Never mind. I don't want to go into that analogy, you know, where it's separated from everybody else in the United States when it comes to team rules for cross country and all of that. And then you have Missouri. So could be like an Indiana-Illinois challenge here, but there's so many good Illinois teams, so many good Illinois runners. We'll wait and see. We'll write about that. And then get ready for Foot Locker Regionals, NXN, and Foot Locker Nationals. And still a little bit more time. We're going to do a show. We will do a show next week. It'll probably be late Monday afternoon because it's a long drive home from Terre Haute. By the time I usually get out of there Sunday evening after doing the things I need to do. And so sometime Monday that'll be up. And then after Foot Locker Regionals, we will do another show, getting you ready for Nike Nationals and Foot Locker Nationals. And then we'll hopefully do a show, one more show in December. And then we'll get ready for track. So, one more thing, one more funny story. And I had an incident at Neighborhood Twilight where I fell, and I received a mild concussion because I landed on my head. So at State, first race of the day, it's a little bit slippery on the course. I'm running across, and I can feel myself going. I'm like, oh no, I'm going down again. I'm going down for the count. And I could feel it. I'm like, I'm just going with it. Tumble rolled, got right back up. There was a coach there who's like, hey, you're Mike Newman. You just fell. Wish I would have had tape on that. My photographer said, yeah, why don't I have video of you or a picture of you falling? Like, well, I try to fall away from Laura. And my response back was, well, you haven't been around me a lot. I fall a lot. So I was okay the rest of the day. But that was funny. That was my funniest moment. I'm thinking the rest of the day as I'm jogging back up to the finish line for the 1A girls race. I'm like, oh, I hope it's not going to be one of those days. It wasn't. State meet was a fantastic day. A lot of it is thanks to the runners in the race and to all the fans out there. So, great atmosphere, over 15,000 people in the park. Tremendous. That's it. How long did I go? Ooh, this is a long one, folks. Ooh, But like I said, I'll time mark everything and you can go where you want to go. So have a good week, everybody. Get ready for NXR. If you're running NXR, we'll see you down in Terre Haute on Sunday. But so until the next time that we talk, have a great week. Vote. Make sure you vote today. It's Mike Newman. Monday morning.